Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my beautiful Sagittariuses. This is your July 2025 reading. I want to kind of set the scene. It's early Saturday afternoon, and we are having a thunderstorm. Have the window open, so I hope that you can hear it. Though this computer is weird, like you can hear me, but I don't know. But anyways, I love reading when it's raining. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm excited to get into your reading. This will be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, always. You could certainly be in love with a Sagittarius, platonically or romantically. Um, some of you were definitely guided here. That's your spirit guides, who I read through, by the way, through our guides. Like my guides connect with your guides. That's why, like I trust that those who are meant to hear the reading are going to hear the reading, whenever that may be, like in their divine timing, in your divine timing. So you may find this reading months from now, don't even realize the date, click on it, and be like, oh, this is everything I needed to hear right now. Well, that's what I call divine timing. So even though I have to put a date on it, I mean, I don't have to, but, I want to do a July playlist. So, um, but other than that, I say trust your intuition. If you run across something, it doesn't matter how old it is. I don't know if I can say that for everybody's readings, but for a lot. Um, especially ones that go in depth. Because well, I mean, each to their own. I was going to say you want to go in depth, but some people don't, and I get it. Um, I do. I want to go in depth. So, anyways, let's do that. Let's go ahead and open up your reading. Um, the best thing I would tell you to do is just take a moment and just clear your energy. Maybe a little deep breathing. Inhale the light. Just exhale the dark. Inhale the light. Exhale the dark. We will use Mother Mary. Not use. We'll give her the honor of opening up the reading. We use the crystal vision to clarify and to go deeper. Um, for your main spread, which I don't know if I've ever used this deck for you, in a main spread. I cannot recall using it for you, but it really was jumping out to me. So this is the Universal Tarot. And of course, we will use the major arcanas for our bullet points. And let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion. So we have a lot happening in July. A lot of planetary action. We have the full moon in Capricorn. I feel like that's going to be pretty good for you. I feel like that and that is your cards. We have Father. Father. My true Father is God in heaven, who shines healing light upon me, my birth father, and our relationship. Often when I get this card, I feel it's not just that I say it, I feel it, that there are also fathers here who have crossed over. Well, okay, so who are in the light is the way I'm supposed to say it. They are in the light and they're here to help guide you. No matter what your relationship was here on earth, their love, like their love right now, it's just unconditional. It's just pure. Um, and I feel it. I also want to say father figures because I feel like there was someone was raised by their grandfather, and that's who you would call your father. Well, they're here. Big brothers also. So it's like I'm not supposed to leave anyone out, but it's also about healing. And then we have patience. Well, very much like your major arcana, temperance. Patience. I trust in divine timing. That's what temperance is all about. First message is patience. That means that divine is making sure everything is ready for whatever is next in your life, whether it be something that's destined, predestined. Divine already knows. We just don't know yet. All right, let's set that over there. I'm going to bring the lid down. Try to pop these back up. And let's go ahead and bring in the major arcanas. And for anyone who's new, I use these as like, I say bullet points. I don't know. I just think they bring so much value to the reading. And they're kind of like, it's a word I want to say. It's a peek at what we're going to be uncovering. Holy cow. Okay. So normally I wouldn't take this many, but they're all faced up. So I am going to take them. We have the Emperor. I have a feeling it's going to take my whole table. The Emperor. Card of Aries. Interesting because that is the father figure. We have the Wheel. Destiny. Mother Mary brings out patience. Again, like your major arcana. Talking about divine timing. Well, destiny just shows like you're just about to spin this wheel. For some of you, I want you to feel comfortable knowing that again there's a father figure who it's like they're walking right beside you. We have, well, there you go. Temperance. Death card. Card of Scorpio. It's about transformation though. You could certainly talk about, a chapter ending. That's usually what it means. A door that needs closed, maybe locked. It depends. Like, I feel like when I say locked, it's if you're worried about, like, taking any energy back that you have already cleared, then I would lock the door. But other than that, I really feel like it's talking about transformation. And this is why we're getting ready to spin the wheel. Chariot, unlimited potential. And we're in Cancer's energy. We have beautiful, the Magician, the Manifester. Wow. I didn't even realize it was this many cards, but I have to say, when they come face up, I just feel like they want to be in your reading. We have the Moon. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. How interesting. We have the feminine of the moon and the masculine of the sun side by side. Now, I'm not going to jump to conclusions yet, but something is, like it's being pointed out to me. Like there's the feminine, here is the masculine. The sun is your illuminator. By the way, the moon is card of Pisces, but it's also ruler's Cancer or Cancer's ruler. And then the sun is the ruler of Leo. So very, very interesting. Let me bring this lid down even a little bit more. I know you can't see way over there. And I promise you guys, I am trying to save up to get, well, like something where I can shoot down at the cards, but I don't know about the rest of you, but it's like money comes in and then it's got to go right back out. So I'm hoping because I feel like a lot of energy is changing in July. I'm hoping that means it's changing, like things are just gonna start flowing. Um, okay. But anyway, so let's get back to this. So right in the middle, we have the death card and then a chariot. Closing of the chapter, opening of the next one. The magician's looking right over at the chariot, which is good. The magician is a reminder that you have all the tools that you truly need to manifest whatever it is you want to manifest. Some of you, it's like bringing a masculine and a feminine together. Um, and the moon is very dreamy energy, and the sun is the illumination, but it's also very playful energy. So playful and dreamy. I like that. Um, we have two energies of Cancer, which makes sense. Cancer has been showing up in everyone's reading, but again, we're moving into Cancer's energy and then into Leo's, and we're actually seeing that. So, Sun's mirroring the Emperor. The Emperor can be the father figure, but the Emperor can also be a business owner. Like, I love the Emperor as someone who has their own business. Or, let's put it this way, the Emperor is great at leading people, but it's because the Emperor has the experience. Like, I've been there, I've done that, I've overcome that. Um, I feel like someone's getting a tap, like I'm pointing at my arm, but it's actually my shoulder. I feel like someone's um father figure is tapping on you lightly, but it's like a hi. All right, let's bring in the Universal Tarot. And man, oh man, let's see why everything is out here. So we know the wheel was your destiny. Temperance, you probably had to be patient for something, but maybe temperance was waiting for you at the same time because the death card follows. So maybe it was important that a certain chapter end. Um, because the death card, usually you'll see death slash rebirth. And I promise you, at least 99.9% of the time, when the death card represents the closing of the door, what follows is usually something pretty amazing. And you have the chariot, and that speaks about your unlimited potential. So, and then you put the magician's energy with that. Like, where do you want to go today? What do you want to do today? What do you want to manifest? Let's do it. Is it going to be that easy? It feels it. Like, it feels it. I don't know if I cut these, so I'm going to go ahead and do them just in case. All right. I can tell you this with the sun here, it is your illumination. So it's definitely going to help guide your next steps. And I don't know, there may be something happening around the full moon for you. It's interesting. Didn't I say something about the full moon already? Oh my. All right, we have the Eight of Wands. Kind of like the law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. Think about what you're putting out into the universe because that's what must meet you, what must come back, like attracting like, maybe love attracting love because the lovers is next. So the eight, um, first of all, it's an eight, um, which is the number of infinity. No beginning, no end, as above, so below. It also represents new beginnings. And I literally just said, like, what do you want to manifest today? Well, if you're putting those intentions out there, do you want to manifest love? Not any old love. Temperance, I often feel, is mixing the waters between the loving soulmates, making sure both cups are equally filled. Well, if you look at the lovers, we have an angel's influence over the lovers. So again, it's like divine and divine timing. I think I'm going to do 5 across. Lovers is also a card of Gemini. The meaning is ahead of a hard decision, but I don't know why. I feel it's more you. Um, and look at all these wands are coming in towards you. Like usually they're going out. These are coming in. And look at all the new growth on these wands. It's almost like answering a request. So I'm wondering, like, what's got to close? We have High Priestess, your intuition, beautiful, especially with the Magician right there. Also, number 2, look at that, the Sun again, double Leo. This is definitely saying that your intuition is going to be illuminated, that your guidance, like your steps forward, if you're trying to manifest the lovers. And by the way, I want you to notice that the lovers are naked. And that's because each one of them are comfortable now being exactly who they are. Like, no facade, no mask, love me the way I am. Doesn't mean I don't want to grow and, all that, but this is being comfortable in one's own skin. And I love that both of them in that same energy. And I feel like that means like we can see each other for all that we are, not just the makeup, and the hair and the clothes. But no, I see your soul. I feel your soul. Let me just put it this way. If you've been putting intentions out or affirmations out to the universe, asking about love, well, then this is your affirmations, your prayers are being answered. And who knows, it might be good old dad that's helping to usher this in. Then we have the death card again. Double Scorpio now. Death card mirroring the Eight of Wands. Like a little message right there. There seems to be something that needs to close. I'm not really seeing anything of like a negative nature. So it maybe doesn't have to be negative or negative nature. Maybe it's just preparing you for this next cycle. You know, we're ending a 9 year cycle and starting a brand new 9 year cycle. So maybe that's what it's getting you ready for. All right. Keep, keep going. We have the King of Swords. Can be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Gemini, and that's it so far. Hello, Magician again. Two magicians, two lovers. And now the Magician is right under the lovers. And look at this. Could it be that easy? Because this is a reason to celebrate. This is the energy of joy. Could it be that easy? Maybe. Especially if I myself am ready. You know, that's the one thing we have to remember, that what it is we're asking for, we need to also be that. So, like, if I'm asking for great love, I need to be able to give great love. If I'm asking for loyalty in love, then I need to be loyal in love. You know what I mean? Like attracts like. But my gosh, it's like you are attracting it immediately. I have a feeling that the majority of you have been really, I hate using this word, working on yourselves. Let's say evolving, that many of you have been evolving, and this is a great lesson in the use of energy and how we can manifest a better life. If we remember that we are the author, we are the writer of our story, then we can create a much better story. You know, I mean, this is a pretty good story here. This is a book I would want to read. All right, just keep going. We have Page of Wands, my little risk taker, under the sun, could be a younger Leo, could be, maybe for someone, but this is my risk taker. Jeez, oh man. How about the star? Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. But how about manifesting them? That's what the star is really about. Yes, you have wishes, you have dreams, but I want them to become my reality, right? I don't want to just keep wishing. I want them to become my reality. And the star reminds you to walk hand in hand with divine. It's like your intuition will be illuminated, which is guidance on like what steps to take. But you do have to take those steps. You know what I mean? Like divine can't pick you up and just put you in the situation. I don't really see anything that is like getting in between you and your dreams. Even the King of Swords. Well, it's interesting because the star is Aquarius's card, and it's mirroring the King of Swords. So for some of you, it could certainly be an Aquarius. But this could also talk about someone who is getting ready to communicate with you, or you them. Again, I don't have a real answer yet on what door needs closed. So maybe it's more about a Scorpio for some of you, but we'll see. Let's keep going. We have the Hermit on the bottom of the deck, which is perfect. 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 Why am I saying it like that? Perfect. So, this is the Hermit, card of Virgo. Number 9. We are in the year of the Hermit. The Hermit is wrapping up the last year of this 9-year cycle. And then we move into the year of the Magician. You already have it. It's almost like you're already there. And it's something I've been saying in a lot of readings, like, do you have to wait to, until the year of the Hermit completes before I start using the energy of the Magician? The answer is no. If you're ready, you're ready. This can signify going through a dark night of the soul, something difficult, but coming out the other end stronger than ever. This is someone whose spirituality has definitely opened up. Even if you look at that beacon of light, it's like to share it with others, but it also illuminates your path. Usually you see a little snake down there. I don't see one, but to me that represents like the lantern will illuminate any snakes in the grass. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's hidden, but again, the lantern will illuminate that. I often feel though this is energy where as I learn, as I evolve, I want to help others. Like I want to help others to see the magic of evolution. Look at that. The wheel right underneath that. It's like just as it was meant to be. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring in the crystal vision. And let's go deeper. This is like a straightforward reading. This feels like one of those readings that doesn't need to be hours long. But I have a feeling that's because of you. I feel like it's you. It's the work that you've put in. It's the understanding that you now have. And a lot of you, I feel like the secret is learning how to use energy. Everything is energy, right? I even feel like some of you may be shocked. I did a test through the comment section. It was a while ago, maybe a couple months, wasn't that long ago, where I said, let's do a little test and let's all think about manifesting a $10 bill. And quite a few came back and manifested $10. So, I did that more for you so that you understand that I was going to say how easy you can manifest. And this does look quite easy, but what it took to get to this point, I think that is all in the Hermit's energy. All right. We have Four of Cups. Four of Cups talks about discontentment and boredom in one's emotional life. Interesting. It's almost like saying, I feel like the rest of my life is pretty much together. But maybe the one thing I'm lacking is true love. So the Four Cups, well, if you just look at the image, it doesn't have it on this one. Usually you see a cup coming in from the hand of divine, and it's answering that prayer. So this person, the rest of their life is pretty okay. But the one thing that I don't feel completely fulfilled in yet is within my emotions. Probably love. So, coming over the Eight of Wands, I feel like that's what you are manifesting. Sagittarius, what have you been doing? Like, I feel like you have been doing, let's just put it this way, you are trusting in your energy. I feel like you're trusting your intuition. I feel like you are learning that fine art of manifestation. You know when chapters are now ready to close and when something new is ready to open. I feel like you are open. I feel like it's clear what it is you want to manifest, but I don't feel like you're putting like heavy restrictions on it, like it must be this way or it must be that way. And then we get the King of Wands, which is like-minded energy, by the way, because it's touching you, Temperance, and the Lovers. So, can be you, another Sagittarius, Aries. We have Aries or Leo. We have Leo. But it doesn't have to be anybody. It doesn't have to be any of that. King of Wands to me is a king of action. This is a king. And you know what I love here is you see this lion, right? That's really our shadow side. That's the beast within us. But this king has tamed that. So this is someone who's living, I feel, a very balanced life. I don't feel like they always have. But today, I feel like they are living a balanced life. It's like well, it's like they have been doing the same thing you've been doing. And who knows, maybe their intentions or their affirmations that they're putting out to the universe are the same as yours. Remember, Temperance, when she says patience, it's because she wants to make sure, well, with the lovers below her, that both lovers' cups are equally filled. And it kind of already feels that way. We have the Page of Cups, it's your inner child. That's your playfulness. That is like, it's coming over the High Priestess, your intuition. But I get this sense, especially with the sun here twice, like this is going to be very playful, fun, exciting. This is something that you're definitely going to feel like within your inner child. Butterflies. But I also feel that you yourself have balanced, like you have real balance in your life. Maybe not all areas, like we are imperfect. And that's just the way it is. Like that's the way we were made. But something feels like it's just going to make your inner child sing. And by the way, we have the energy of joy and celebration right below it. Now, this can also talk about someone's younger energy. Page of Cups touching the Death card. Could be a younger Scorpio. Or a Scorpio, like, maybe someone you already know from back in the day. We have the Six of Wands. Wow. Victory and success. You know what else I love about the Six of Wands is, though this isn't the greatest representation of it, or image of it. This is where other people really are looking up to you. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, out of the blue, people just start asking for your advice because you're qualified. And I don't mean that you have a degree. Maybe you do have a degree, but it's not schooling. It's what you've been through. It's what you've overcome. And I love this if, well, in any way, in every way, because it is victory and success. Coming over the sun. And then I'm thinking of the hermit, who I feel like is a natural teacher. And, like all of a sudden I get this feeling that my soul didn't come here to have an easy life. My soul came here to grow. Now, I know that's the case, but I feel like you're saying that to yourself, or you have said that to yourself. So don't be surprised if people are coming to you like left and right for advice. Matter of fact, like I could see you using this energy to your benefit, like business. Like, I don't know where all of a sudden I'm thinking like Dear Abby. Many of you probably don't even know who Dear Abby is. She used to put she was in the newspaper back when, you used to get the newspaper. Um, she had a column and she gave advice. And I feel like I want to call you Dear Abby. Or maybe others are calling you that. And then we have the Knight of Wands, swallow passion rushing in. And it's coming in. And what I mean by that is it probably hasn't happened yet. Um, doesn't mean, like, for some of you, I feel like chances are, well, okay, I was going to say chances are you know who this other lover is, but then as soon as I was going to say that, it's like my guide stepped in and said, few of them, few of them know. So more don't know than do, but there are a few who do. Okay, I think that's the way it's meant to be said. So, the Knight of Wands coming in. First of all, it's touching the moon. That means it's bringing in dreamy energy. It's kind of like a karmic reward for all that you've done. Some people sit in their sorrow forever. And I'm not judging that, because it takes whatever it takes. But I don't feel that with you. Not the ones here with me now. I feel not that you haven't done that. Let me just put it this way. I feel like you are just on a higher dimension. which means, well, this lover would also have to be also on that dimension, but that could be what Temperance is doing. Maybe this king who did need to tame the beast within him, so to speak. And it does look like he or she, but that could be part of it, right? Because it's not just about you, it's about you and someone else. But the majority of this reading is really about your growth. I feel like a proud mama bear. That's what I feel like. All right, let's keep going. You know, it's interesting because I just did another reading, and it took a while to really dig deep, where yours is just unfolding so beautifully and naturally. I do want to say we do have two pages on the board, Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. And that could be for those who may already know who this lover is. The Nine of Wands, the Sun again, over the Magician, wow, and connected to the lovers. Huh, the Page of Wands again, over the Three of Cups. Interesting. This one's a female, this one's a male. I feel like we're just coming closer to the lovers. Two risk takers now, who have the Sun backing them up. The Star right here. Let's go back to the King of Wands for a second, or the King of Swords, though. King of Swords has the Nine of Wands over him, or her. And this is about reflection. Nines are always about reflection. But think of it as final reflection, right? This is someone looking back at their life with a really like a spiritual lens. Like everyone behind them is something that they've overcome, something that they've accomplished. This is about being proud of who you are today, but it is your past experiences that made you who you are today. Now, I'm talking more to this king, but I also feel like it relates to you too, because I feel like you've done that work. And maybe the other lover is doing that work right now. And remember, final reflection. That could be a little bit of why the death card is here. You know, once we've done that reflection, it's time to move into the next cycle. Well, we have the next cycle here, right? We have 2025 represented. We have 2026 represented. Now, I'm not saying you have to wait till 2026 because the Hermit's on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you are walking hand in hand with your spirituality. Now, I know it's not everyone, but it's the opportunity. You know, some people, how do I say this? Some people never want to do the shadow work. And if you never do the shadow work, how do you evolve? Another way of saying that is if we think of Earth as classroom, and remember that we're spirit, remember that the spirit is the intellect to our soul. So our soul comes down into this lifetime. The soul doesn't know. I feel this is what I was taught through my guides, that we do get to pick our family. And, I know some are going to be like, oh my God, why did I pick this family? Well, because there's something your soul wanted to learn, wanted to grow. We came down here to evolve. It reminds me of like when we cross over and we have all these young spirits asking us, what is Earth like? I'm getting ready to go down to Earth. What's it like? Well, how great to be able to tell them, like, it's hard, but let me give you the silver lining. Like you go back home as a spiritual teacher. Anyway, I feel like we got off topic. So we have these two pages looking right at each other. By the way, page can also be what's in the atmosphere. What is yet to come in, but sometimes you can feel it. Well, if it's wands, that means probably passion. We have the Knight of Wands right there, who is the usher of that passion. Remember, anytime you see a knight, usually, not usually, the knight is sent from a queen or a king. It's energy, and you do have the ability to feel it. When it's like, it's that sense of like, I just feel like something good is going to happen. I don't know why, but I feel it. Trust that. Look at this, another Knight of Swords. Not another Knight of Swords, another Knight. Communication? Probably. I love that he's on a white horse, though. Pure. Truthful. Nothing to hide. I feel like that's the theme here with these lovers. It's like both of them being comfortable with who they are. Both of them have had deep reflection, and both of them, I feel like, have really learned the art of using energy on their behalf, but not just their behalf, also to help others. You know, there's rewards for that. And we don't want to do it for the reward. It just feels like naturally you want to help, but there are rewards. All right, let's keep going. Hello, Fool. Hello, new beginning. Dreamer. This is about taking a leap of faith. I love that it's coming over the star. So it's telling you that these wishes, they're coming true. But you do have to take a leap of faith in it. I already feel you're going to. I don't feel there's any restrictions. Like, I just don't. Maybe because it's mirroring the Nine of Wands, so all that energy has been cleared. Again, being proud of who I am today doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean I don't still have things I should work on. That's an ongoing thing. But I am proud of the person I am today. Death card right above the Fool. Simply, it may be just a closing of a chapter because the new chapter is ready to open. And I don't know, any energy would be better to come over the star than the Fool. Brand new. Even if it's old, something that was old, it's new. So let's say, because we have so many pages, and I do know that a couple of you, um, this is this is someone you know. Like my guides told me that. Now, they also told me it was just a few. But what was I going to say? Oh, so even if it's something that already was, this would signify that it's coming to the table new. That means that both must have evolved, right? Because this is about like-minded energy. No doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. And that is what divine timing is about. Temperance could bring you in love sooner. Let's say you're still in the hermit's energy and love comes in, you would have a different perspective of it. You know what I mean? Let's say you were still in the dark night of the soul, you would have a different perspective. But the Fool is free and clear, open. And the Fool's greatest mentors are both here. The Magician, which is really mirroring it. That's what the Magician teaches the Fool. You have everything you need. Everything is on the table to manifest whatever it is you want to manifest. You have the High Priestess. High Priestess tells you, I am your GPS. Use me. Use me often. The more you use me, the more you'll trust me. This is many times where your signs are sent. You'll feel it. Just think back to like old relationships where that there were red flags. I know. I've had a few. But we ignore them anyway. And that's part of learning and growing. There's not judgment over it. It's just that now, because I just feel like you're a different person. And I feel like you're trusting your intuition like never before. So as anything comes towards you, I feel like very quickly you'll know if it's good or not good. And if you are uncertain, then take it slow. I see nothing that's saying that you should not move forward. Nothing. And I'm seeing everything that's showing the potential of this love. Now, I'm not trying to make this a love reading. It's so interesting. I talk to my guides all the time, and I'm like, I'm afraid my subscribers or the people who watch your readings are going to get tired of me talking about love. But what I hear is love is part of life. So, it's like the final reflection of that Nine of Wands, but so that you can be truly proud of who you are today. And that allows the Fool's energy to open up. Remember, we are the Fool anytime we're starting anything new, anytime a new chapter opens up, a new opportunity. We're starting as the Fool. So, and the Fool is someone who has reflected on the past, but has made that decision not to bring along like the heartaches of the past, the anger of the past, any of that. That remains in the past. I understand it, even my part in it, but this is not about yesterday. All right, let's go right underneath it. It's almost like I could end it right here, but let's go ahead and go underneath it. The devil in reverse. By the way, it's a bummer that you can't see it in this card, but a lot of times in the devil's in the devil's image, you'll see the lovers, and you'll see the devil's influence over the lovers, and it's an illusionary energy. But we buy it. We buy it hook, line, and sinker until we no longer buy it, and that's exactly what's happening. So this lower vibrational energy, the illusions, you can now see through them. It's like goodbye shadow and hello light. Hello Nine of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Well, successful self-employment. The energy of independence. Being able to take care of oneself financially. I also love this for, with the Fool, this could be something new also. You may not have trusted, like, can I really build a successful business? Well, because let's just say the dark energy no longer exists, and now you're in the light, I would say if this is what you want, you should go after it. Remember, the Fool is going to take a chance in, it looks like a couple different things. But how do I love the Sun also over your money? The Nine of Pentacles, the meaning of the card is successful self-employment. Now, I don't feel like it has to be self-employment, but it is your work. And it is you reaping the benefits of that work. Some of you were looking for a purpose, and you're now finding it. Let me just say this. It feels like you have learned so much that I would love to see you help others to find their way the way that you're finding your way. Maybe it's exactly what you're meant to do. This is also independent energy. Some of you might be single, and maybe your focus has been on money. Remember, the only thing that we felt like we're lacking is of an emotional nature. So I feel like even if right now, because didn't I feel like I opened up the reading, or maybe it was the last reading, where I felt like there's been a lot of money restrictions. I know I felt it. Um, and if I'm feeling it, then you're probably feeling it too. And why would that be? Because we're a soul family. So we're all going through pretty similar energies. We could be at different places, and we can definitely learn from each other. Oh, I was going to say, um, I was looking to see, I'm doing opposite signs again this month. But I haven't done your opposite, which is Gemini. I will do it next. Interesting, because we'll see if the lovers comes up in it. You know, the reason why I do opposites here and there is because I feel like there's so much we can learn from our opposite sign. You know, I'm a Virgo sun and my opposite is Pisces. And what can I learn from Pisces? Well, I can learn a whole lot, especially of emotion, like within emotions, like being able to express, you know, emotions. That's something that Virgo really has to work on. Um, hmm, Eight of Swords. Okay, it almost doesn't fit. And then look at this, the world. So here is the next chapter. That means the completion of something and the opening up, well, of the next 9 years. Eight of Swords kind of doesn't fit, but it is mirroring the Death card. I feel like you're beyond this, though. So I'm wondering if it's the other person. This is a self created prison, but we create it because of hard experiences, you know, many times heartache or what have you. This really wants, like, it doesn't want to exist. And when you do put down these walls, it's freedom, baby. It's freedom. But something is telling me it's not you. The High Priestess again. So we're seeing synchronicities. I love that connected to the Foal. The Hierophant, card of Taurus. This is your beliefs, your morals, and connected to the Three of Pentacles. Wow, this is all about your individuality, celebrating it. This is about other people admiring what you do. So, you know, let me just say this, because I feel like you've really broken things down for yourself. And because I feel that you're really learning how to use energy, I could totally see you. And maybe for some of you, this is your calling, where you then help others. The Hierophant, your faith. I gotta believe, I gotta believe. Interesting, because the Three of Pentacles, again, it's about your individuality. It's about appreciating your individuality, or let's say everyone else is. Do you? And the only reason I'm saying that because of the Eight of Swords right there. You know, it may just be that some of you are thinking of, like, I feel like some of you may have been like really searching for a purpose. And, you know, is there, like, do we have, well, how do I say this? I feel like one of our main purposes here is to learn and evolve, but then to help our fellow man and woman. And some of you, that's what you're doing. Okay. Pretty dang clear. I don't know why, but I feel like we have the world somewhere else too. Do we? Maybe not. Feels like it. But we do want to look at the synchronicities. So we do have two death cards. We have two suns. Um, two high priestess, two magicians. And I'm saying this because I want you to notice the similarity of energies. Okay. Well, I am not going to overclarify this because I feel like it's been so clear. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a couple cards right down the middle. Right down the middle. And it's really for any other messages that want to come out. Well, hello, Ten of Cups. Connected to the King of Swords. We have the King of Swords right here. Wow. Now, let's say it's not an air sign for you. Then the King of Swords in the upright is someone who values truth, honesty. Like, if you lie to me, it would take a lot for me to ever trust you again. Now, I don't feel like he's saying that to you, but I feel like it's good to know that energy, right? And I like that he has a white shirt on. So again, the purity that's connected with them. It's interesting because a lot of times the King of Swords gets a bad rap, but not here. And I am not just reading him as an air sign. Well, hello, Empress. Wow. It's exactly what I felt. This is you. By the way, we now have the Emperor and the Empress. The Emperor as your very first card, and now the Empress. A beautiful power couple. I love this image because, there's a few different things with the Empress. The Empress, I feel like, has lived the lives of all the queens and has extracted the wisdom, right? Has gone through the experiences, but has let go of, the hurt, pain, anger, any of that, and just extracts what I need for my soul to grow. This is someone just like all of us who's always receiving epiphanies, ideas, guidance. But the Empress is someone who really trusts divine and walks hand in hand with divine. So when she receives an epiphany, she puts it to use. And there's an apple just about to hit her on the head. We have the mother, we have the father, we have the feminine, we have the masculine. We could potentially have twin flames, but listen, this has got to be at least soulmate energy. Sometimes I regret when I say twin flames because I don't feel like that's something that you should search for. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen, but it is not the easiest of relationships. I know I'm in one. I mean, trust me, it has a lot of beauty attached to it, but we are each other's mirror. Okay, but anyway, I just feel like I can't leave that off the table. We have the Tower, the Queen of Wands, And then the Nine of Cups, beautiful. So, you know, Tower makes sense. We've all gone through these tower energies. Sometimes that can mean certain things end, um, without us trying to end it. But I feel like the tower here kind of feels like universal energy, like something was meant to end so that this new chapter can begin. And then it's mirroring the Nine of Cups, so I know the tower's not affecting you because this is inner harmony. It's also fulfillment of wishes. Well, here's the wish card. And coming under the Empress, my God, Sagittarius, fulfillment of wishes, inner harmony. And that may be a little bit of a clue. Like, because this feels like such a strong love, inner harmony is probably important. Okay, let's bring in the clarifying love situations. The best thing, or how I would love for you to look at this reading, is yes, it is talking about love, but it's also talking about your finances and what you do in the world and the importance of that. And for some of you, starting new businesses, but you're feeling called to it and you're listening. Like, I really feel the evolution of you and someone else. Silent remnants. Amid the uncertainty, love has the power to rebuild trust. Well, the moon can certainly represent uncertainties because we can only see as far as the moon allows us to see, the moonlight. But I have a feeling something around the full moon, which don't quote me, I think is, I was going to say January, July 16th, I believe. There could be something major happening around that time for you. Empathetic bridges. Embrace healing by being kind, balancing life's contrasting forces. Well, nobody does that better than the Emperor and the Empress. Empathetic bridges. It almost feels like I could see someone taking that as a business name. What do you do for a living? I own the company Empathetic Bridges. I help healers. I help to heal those so they can balance their life and find, well, just look at the other side of it. Divine union. Use the wings of empathy to bring love and harmony. But for some reason, I feel like you're teaching it, well, because you have it. All right, let's see if anything else wants to come out. One more. Okay, thank you. One more. Peaceful parallel. Harmony flows, lives align, basking in the serene glow of peace. Wow. Peaceful parallel. Harmony flows, lives align, basking in the serene glow of peace. hello. And so be it. All right, last but not least, let's bring in the romance angels. You know, just assume when you see the Emperor and the Empress in the same reading and it talks about love. Well, let me back up for a second because I feel like the Emperor and the Empress can create a masterpiece together. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they put their minds together, like they could create a business that would just rock the world. But they do have to put their minds together. Now, let's say they each do their own separate thing. Well, each would help support the other. But they are great collaborators. All right. Romance, angels. This could be the one. I have to tell you, I keep getting this. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. But we know that's true for a few. But listen, I never leave past lives off the table, ever. Because if you're soulmates, chances are you've had past lives together. Sometimes something could have been left incomplete, or you just might have wanted to have this experience again. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Good old dad over there. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. This could be the one. Healing. So someone may be going through that. Again, temperance, divine timing. Doesn't mean someone has to be completely healed because I don't think that ever happens. But I feel like soulmates are beautiful in helping to heal those little broken pieces that we just couldn't heal ourselves. I feel like these conversations are going to reveal a lot. Like, like this, my friends, is a spiritual journey. This is a spiritual journey. It's like my emperor and empress have lifted into a new dimension. And I'm going to leave it there. I feel like I do not want to push this reading any further. Um, I just found it beautiful. And I have to say, like, I don't even feel like I had to dig deep. It just revealed itself in such a beautiful way. I hope you see that. I hope you can see that. All right. I'm going to let that be. But I want to thank you. Oh, I also want to remind everyone that I added to my personal readings, like I do an emergency reading, which gets you within 48 hours. Um, a regular personal reading, which, all my readings are usually like 2 hours long. Um, and it's your questions, but it's me and your spiritual team and my spiritual team answering the questions. But so I added in past lives because we talk about past lives all the time and how that reading is going to be very much like I do on YouTube. I mean, I've done a few already. Um, but what we do is we'll look back and it's usually for love. It doesn't have to be. But we can see when we look back, like if something was left unfinished, and then we look at the current life. So it's a full picture. It's a full picture. But I just wanted to let you know I do offer that now. Um, and regular readings, the wait can be up to 4 weeks. I almost said 4 months. Um, though I'm working very, very hard to get it down so you receive them much sooner. But I put 4 weeks just to give myself that time, just in case. Um, Sometimes it takes that long, but sometimes it doesn't. I know that's helpful information, right? Anyways, I wanted to let you know I had that. So, and I want to thank you guys also for listening to my podcast. Um, it's something new I started. It's interesting because I am definitely using the energy that's available to us. So I started that podcast, which is something I've thought about doing forever. How I changed my name. Many of you didn't know that. I did put out a community post twice letting people know that I changed my name, and not everybody loves it, and I understand that, but I've really felt guided towards that name. And the rambling part of it is kind of like a play on words because many people say I ramble, not many, but um and I don't take that as an insult. You know what I mean? But it just feels right to me. The name just feels right. And I used that name for my podcast, and I thought, well, I've been wanting to change my name, and here's why. Archangel guidance. I Something inside of me felt like it's not that I felt like, like I'm at the level of an archangel, but I worried that other people, I don't know, it just didn't sit right. And it didn't sit right for years, but it never felt like the right time. Then I started the podcast and I thought, I need everything with the same name. So that's when I changed the name here too. So I believe though, if you still look up Archangel Guidance, you'll probably still get me. It may pop up the Rambling Psychic, but anyways, just want to let you know that too. So I'm going to stop talking now. I love you guys. I thank you. What a month. What a month. And my friends, it's just the beginning. When I say what a month, it's just the beginning. It's the fool's energy. But honestly, what do you want to manifest today? I love it. And I love you. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.